For years, KerryGold has been my favorite grass-fed butter. And the first one here is my absolute favorite, KerryGold butter. I like KerryGold. KerryGold, like the great company that they are, but now there's a new bad boy in town. Kirkland's grass-fed butter from New Zealand. Is it worth it? Is it just as healthy? Can it dethrone my all-time favorite butter? If you're new here, welcome. I'm George. I've been a chef for 37 years, and I'm all about helping you eat healthy, save money, and cook like a pro. If you're not, you already know how much of a big fan I am of grass-fed butter. I'm also a big fan of New Zealand meat and dairy exports because they set some of the highest standards for the production and export of beef and dairy in the world. Kirkland, the Costco brand, is selective about the quality of products they brand, so it was no surprise to me when they branded a grass-fed butter made in New Zealand. Not only do I think that the taste of KerryGold is hard to beat, I also believe that the company cares about the quality of their products. By the way, this video is not sponsored by anyone. Dear God, please make sure one of the executives from Costco or KerryGold watches this video and chooses to become sponsors of this channel. I was excited to do a head-to-head comparison of these two brands. First thing I noticed, in big letters, the Costco brand is only 95% grass-fed. KerryGold just says grass-fed, but does that mean they only feed their cows grass? I decided to shoot them an email. And within a few hours, like the great company that they are, they responded. Both brands are not feeding their cattle 100% grass. Is that a bad thing? Clearly it'd be best if they did. And neither one of these butters is made with organic milk. Let's start by tasting the two butters on a simple cracker at room temperature. Let's see how the butter tastes when it's melted. The Costco brand is cheaper by $1 per pound, but why? According to the ingredient list, both butters should have the same fat content, but I wanted to see if maybe the Kirkland brand was cheaper because it had more milk solids than the KerryGold brand, so I weighed out 100 grams of each, and I melted them both on low heat so nothing would evaporate. And I siphoned off the milk solids and weighed them. This was a really interesting comparison, and the butters behaved differently under different circumstances. On a salted cracker, it was impossible to tell the difference between the two. So I tried the butters plain, and the KerryGold butter was more flavorful on its own than the Kirkland brand. I believe that the Kirkland brand just has a little less salt in it than the KerryGold, and sure enough it does, by nearly 25%. And that makes the Kirkland brand taste a little more bland. I also tried each one on fresh plain bread, and that's where the KerryGold butter truly stood out. It was more rich and flavorful. For classic plain bread and butter, the KerryGold wins. My suspicion was that I would not be able to tell the difference between the two butters when they were cooked. But the flavor of the KerryGold, again, it took the lead by a little bit. I think it boils down to the salt content. So I added a dash of salt to the Kirkland brand, tried them plain, and they were truly indistinguishable. I did notice that the Kirkland brand was harder to spread onto bread. I feel that it might be because the KerryGold butter had more milk solids than the Kirkland. KerryGold brand had 17% milk solids and the Kirkland brand had 10%. Does this affect the flavor? I'm not entirely sure. Let me know what you think. The Kirkland brand is $1 less per pound. If you're going to be cooking with it, it's the clear winner. If you're watching your sodium intake, it's also the clear winner. If you want to have plain bread and butter, go for the KerryGold. Whichever one you choose, you're making a wise decision to consume butter made from grass-fed cows, and I think Kirkland made a wise decision to manufacture their butter from New Zealand dairy because New Zealand has the highest standards for meat and dairy production in the world. I want to hear what you have to say. Leave that comment, smash that like button, and share this video on social media so that people you care about can eat healthier and save money. Cheers.